the big thing that we want is real simple. We want our students to come to school every single day. We want our students to stay out of trouble and obey the policies and the rules and guidelines. And we want our students to learn. So very simply put, when you do all that at every grade level, you're going to eventually make it to the next level, which is going to be college, career, military ready. Because when you get a job or you go to military or you go to college, you better be there every day. You better obey the rules and you better learn something.
Welcome back to the show. It is celebration time in Donna ISD. I have two outstanding guests with me. You all know Superintendent Donna ISD, Dr. Angela Dominguez, and the one, the only, the incorrigible board president, Fernando Castillo. You're in for a treat. I'll just tell you that. So first of all, welcome to the show. And there's some exciting news. I don't want to steal the thunder, so I will leave it to who's going to share the news.
Oh, Mr. Castillo is going to share the news.
Well, first of all, good morning, Rick Fernandez. Buenos dias.
Good morning.
I want to make sure we get the name correct, though, again. It's Dr. Angela Denise Dominguez. So let's make sure we get that on record. Angela Denise, all right? But listen, you mentioned Donna. You mentioned Donna ISD. Let's take it a little further. We like to refer to Donna ISD, located in Donna, Texas, America. 20 regions in the state of Texas. 20 regions, educational services. We belong to Region 1. And this particular school district, we are, the boundary separates us from Mexico, Texas, Mexico County, Mexico City, Mexico ISD. And over 1,250 ISDs in the state of Texas, including your 1As, your 2As, 3As, 4As, 5, 6As. We just came back from a conference in San Antonio, TASB, and we were given the prestigious honor, not given, we earned it. It was earned that we are state champs, School Board of the Year for 2024. And that obviously includes all 7 trustees along with the superintendent, because I'm very adamant that we cannot do things just with the board alone. It has to be a team of 8. And so it's like saying the quarterback doesn't exist and only the running backs. Everybody's going to be part of the team. But we're very proud and we're extremely honored. It hasn't really sunken in yet. I did a little research yesterday, believe it or not, Rick. I can still read.
Oh, I believe it.
Well, just Google it. But this particular award or honor has been started in 1971. So it's been 54 years that this award has been given to school boards. In the Valley, only 9 school districts have had this honor of school boards being named the Board of the Year. 2 of them have earned that twice.
That's our next goal.
So we are just honored that we have that, because at the end of the day, it is something that kind of tells us as trustees we're in the right track. We're definitely in the right track. More importantly, for student success, and that really is what it's all about. It really is. And having a phenomenal superintendent with us who knows the ins and outs, may not be from here from the Valley, but she grew up in San Antonio, and all the demographics and the student and the neighborhoods were very similar to what we have here in the Valley. So, it's a different location, but very similar in all aspects. So we are extremely proud to be named the Board of the Year, state champs. You can see the back under says Donna ISD. I don't know if you can zoom into the water tower, but 1961, we had state champs, and guess 2024, boom, right there. Thank you.
I love it. And Dr. Dominguez, Mr. Castillo brought up, you're from San Antonio. So if you would, can you just quickly share your journey to the culmination of where you are now as Superintendent Donna ISD?
They say she's going back to San Antonio.
Hey, you got to show her the money. Like Jerry Maguire, you got to show her the money.
She's going to have to scream it.
Oh, gosh. So actually, I started my career in San Antonio as a teacher and administrator at all levels, elementary, middle school, high school. Opened up a Young Women's Leadership Academy in San Antonio ISD, an all-girls school, high school principal in Somerset ISD, and back to Edgewood as an assistant soup. And then I found my home in Donna ISD 3 years ago. And so it was definitely the place that I was meant to be as a part of this team and as a part of this family. as Mr. Castillo said, I grew up in the Edgewood ISD community, grew up very poor, and can relate to the challenges and difficulties that our students face on a daily basis in Donna. And so this award is really for our students and for them to know that anything is attainable. Our school board, 6 out of 7 of our trustees were migrant workers. They started their lives in the fields. They started school not speaking English and faced many challenges to get to where they're at today on the dais. And so they're certainly role models for our students, for our staff, and for our community.
Mr. Castillo, when y'all are there and you're with the other school boards and they're making the announcement, when they called Donna ISD, can you take me through your reaction and then maybe some of the other reactions around you when y'all were named?
I'm still trying to sink in. I have to go back and look at the video like a coach. Let me check film.
No, so Dr. Dominguez said you jumped about 30 feet in the air and started hooting and hollering.
That's why I said I had to go back and look at the evidence because I don't recall. I mean, it was just it was such a big shocker and a good shock, of course. But I did see a picture where I'm wearing boots and one boot is way up in the air and the other one's down. I take it. I was trying to jump or maybe up in the air. But nevertheless, listen, it is something that honestly we are not board members for this. We're not after this particular allocate. But when you see what is done, it for us 7 board members and of course our team. I keep saying a team of 8 because it's important that the big thing that we want is real simple. We want our students to come to school every single day. We want our students to stay out of trouble and obey the policies and the rules and guidelines. And we want our students to learn. So very simply put, when you do all that at every grade level, you're going to eventually make it to the next level, which is going to be college, career, military ready.
Sure.
Okay, because when you get a job or you go to military or you go to college, you better be there every day. You better obey the rules and you better learn something.
That's right.
When you are in the actual job, you better be there every day and you better obey the work policies and you better do something every day with your work. So doing all that at a wide angle perspective and then having to see that it's working, especially with our early childhood, it's a separate and apart.
Sure.
And it was great. It still is. I'm not done celebrating yet. There's
Oh,
still
no,
more to come. Because
Yeah, I have no doubt there's going to be this will be a year-round celebration for you in the district.
Right.
Dr. Dominguez, so you've had the opportunity to work in other districts with other communities, but what makes Donna so special? Your students and your staff. Why is it home?
So in our school district, I will tell you that there is a sense of belonging. Our teachers love our kids, and you can feel it when you walk into the classroom. And when you create that type of culture and that type of environment, it's important for the board and the superintendent to be in sync so that they can do the work that they need to do. And so when Mr. Castillo says this was an honor that was earned, it really was, because we had to go through a very rigorous process to prove that not only are we doing the things that we need to do to meet policy and to meet the expectations of a team of 8, but you can see it in the outcomes of what we're producing in the classroom every day, how our students are growing, how our data is continuing to improve year over year. And so I think it's just, we've got a culture where people just genuinely care about kids first and doing the right thing for students every single day. We've got a lot of support from our curriculum and instruction team in the classroom. All of us are here at central office to serve teachers, and you really can feel it. I think what was really exciting is we did our panel on Sunday, and one of the audience members on Sunday happened to be a teacher in Donna ISD. She's also a board member in another school district, and she walked up at the end and said, what was really exciting to me, Dr. Dominguez, is that everything you shared is absolutely true. And as a board member somewhere else, it was great for me to have the perspective of when a board and the superintendent are in sync, it lets teachers do what they need to do in the classroom.
Absolutely. Because yes, when it's not functioning so well, it makes it very difficult on the students and the staff. So, I commend both of you. Clearly, the relationship is a great one. We're joking that it's like, how do you wrangle him in the board meetings? Y'all seem to have a lot of fun, which I think is critical, particularly, you're dealing with heavy things and trying to figure out the best way forward for kids. And so the way that y'all interact and the fun that y'all have, that's not normal, right? That's not something that, and you both know this. A lot of times that's just not the case. So I'm really glad that y'all have that camaraderie. Now, Mr. Castillo, so how do you? This is a huge award, right? But we have to move forward. How do you continue keeping the level of rigor just high? Like, we're going to keep pushing for that team of 8 to just stay on track, on focused, and keep moving forward.
Okay, well, that's a very good question, Mr. Rick Fernandez. Here's what we plan to do. Continue doing exactly the same thing, asking for data. The data that we're asking for is, again, the attendance,
Sure.
the discipline, and how much we're learning. When we talk about the learning, obviously we are not involved in going to the classroom. That's another thing that this board has totally been committed to, is staying in our lanes and let our superintendent do her job, because that's what she's here for. We're not the one, even though we have 4 of our trustees who were former educators, we have already accepted the role that back off, she's a superintendent. She'll bring the data to us. And so speaking of that, is we just finished the first 6 weeks a week ago. And they brought the data to us. How did they do all the grade levels, all the special pops with their assessments, and things are looking pretty good. That's what we're going to continue to do, that, because that's what I look at, the short term. And if you take care of your short terms, you're going to make it to the long one, and that's what earning success. I think I shared with you, Rick, the other day that all of this is like someone that's going to run a marathon. You don't just jump in there and say, I want to run a marathon and get the gold medal if you haven't trained. It's not going to happen, buddy. It's not going to happen. Same thing with this. We started 4 years ago, at least my term and my other 4 colleagues. This is our year number 4 of our first term, and it wasn't like this when it started. So this is what we like to refer to the baby steps. You got to begin. We were very fortunate that we were part of the interview committee when it came to hiring Dr. Angela Denise Dominguez and coming on board, because we had to, it's kind of like you gotta select your mate. None of us, you can't just be cooking. I need to be able to do everything. Puedes lavar, puedes planchar, puedes comer, and can we do all this? But in this case, it was all in the right reason for education, obviously. So we were very fortunate when it came to that. And I think the other thing that's really important is, Rick, I want to tell you one thing that happens all over the world, but here in Texas, we were going to bring it down to our school district. All of us have a story. You've got a story. We all have stories. My parents are both immigrants from Mexico. They came over here not to study, obviously. They came over here to work. And so they knew that education is the way to your ticket out to live the American dream, which it's true, by the way. It exists. But my parents had to be very realistic that that's not what they came here. They came to the trabajos. But they had 9 of us, and they kept telling us, go to school. So all 9 of us finished high school. Out of the 7 that could go, because I had a brother and sister with Down syndrome. So out of the 7, all 7 of us have college degrees. Okay, one turnaround from generation to next generation. And so, I thank my parents for seeing the importance of education. And I also thank the system, because the system is there. If you want to take advantage of it, it's there. We can't be saying, well, no, pude, because we lived that story. And now my wife and I are from Donna. We had 3 of our own kids. All 3 went through the school system here in Donna. All 3 have college degrees. Now I have grandkids. They're back in the same system in Donna. And that's the whole thing. You mentioned, how do you keep it for the board members to be doing what we're doing? Same thing that we're asking for the families to do with their kids. If you're a graduate already from high school and college and you have offspring, that we want you to help us getting them educated and so forth and so on, generation through generation. Because again, the CCMR, college, career, military ready, is so much on target. One of the things that we're looking at is constant checking on our kiddos, because as I was mentioning about the generations, there's always going to be the first generation that comes in with no education, what have you. And you can go back to when the English came over to the ocean and all that stuff. But anyway, right now in 2024, people don't think that we still have generations and families that are exactly the way it was back in 1967, whenever I started 0th grade. And they're happening right now. And so that's one of the things that we as trustees, and along with our superintendent, we constantly need to be reminded and saying that we may have degrees and so forth, but we have individuals that are exactly the way we were X amount of years ago. And because of that, one of the biggest strengths that we have right now is that our superintendent has fully committed and gotten all our 13 elementaries, the bilingual program, the dual program, to be enforced 100%, which means that if you come in and your home language server says that you're Spanish speaking only, we're not going to force you to try to be an English learner because the law says we got to teach you in Spanish. And so that's what we're doing now. And believe it or not, the results from last year, your K through second English was at 86%, and your K through second Spanish was at 85%. Ladies and gentlemen, that is phenomenal. For people that don't know about the data, when before we were like in the 18%, huge gap. So 85 and 86, guys, you can't get it any more perfect than that. And so when these kids go to the next level, third grade, fourth grade, etc., you're going to be seeing the fruits of our labor. And don't get me wrong, we're emphasizing, or she's emphasizing, and we're supporting the middle schools and the high schools as well, because you got to stay on track. But the fact of the matter is, when these little kiddos go to the next level, the waves of strengths and vocabulary improved is going to be up there. And I guarantee you, just like a lot of people didn't think that Donna ISD would ever have the School Board of the Year champs, we're here. And yes, you know, I joke around and kid around that, yeah, with this, but you know, at the end of the day, we can never lose focus of what's the real reason for the season as the trustee. Let your superintendent do the job and support her in anything that is going to be for the best interest of our students, for student success. End of story.
Dr. Dominguez, if you'll take us out on this note, what are you most proud of so far in your tenure as superintendent? And then what's one thing to grow on moving forward for Donna ISD?
So I think there's so much to be proud of in the first 3 years here in Donna ISD, but I'm extremely proud of the work that we have done with early childhood education. We have really redefined what happens in grades pre-K to third grade to help support laying a strong foundation for students. We were also, our Rivas Primary Discovery was the first early childhood campus in the Rio Grande Valley that focuses just on pre-K through second grade learners, and they won the HEB State Award last year for Early Childhood Center all across the state of Texas. And we're starting to really think through how we replicate that model in other school sites, but the outcomes that we're seeing in early childhood education, I feel like they're laying such a firm foundation for our students and creating a brighter future for kids. And when they're on grade level by third grade, their chances and their outcomes to graduate on time are magnified extremely. And so we're very proud of what we've accomplished there. And a lot of it does, like Mr. Castillo, come back to having strong instructional program, fidelity to those programs, and ongoing monitoring of what's happening in the classroom.
Hey, Rick, I need to add something because it's important. This is real life, factual situations happening right now. You turn the TV on pretty much everywhere, and you're going to hear bully, bully, bully. The words bullies, 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 right? So this is another thing that is music to our ears. I don't know if you truly understand the concept of what she just said about most of our elementaries are pre-K through fifth grade. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you look at the physique of a fifth grader versus a pre-K-er, I mean, it's a big difference. And so there is bullying. It exists, and I'm sorry to say that, but we don't want it. We just don't want to see that anywhere. But in doing this, dividing the campus to where it's third through fifth, physically maturity is a little more to their age group. You get the pre-K and the second grade, physically maturity it's more appropriate to them. And so let's face it, guys. When that little bullying concept is out of the picture, the kids can concentrate and feel good about that versus, oh man, here comes that guy that pushed me behind. Oh, I don't want him here. So we really like the fact that the outcome came out very positive, and that's what our superintendent said. We're looking at doing more campuses as such.
And that's fantastic. You know, I just want to commend both of you just to see that the camaraderie and the interaction and the fun that y'all are having. Again, you got to have that to move forward with your district, because that relationship, as you well know. Go ahead, Dr. Dominguez.
I was going to say, Rick, it's the whole team.
Yes,
it really is.
Yes.
It's all of us, and we've been very fortunate that we stay connected because everybody on that team has the same vision. We all want the number one outcome of graduating all students college, career, and military ready, and so it's easy to have fun when we're doing hard stuff, but we're all working towards the same end in mind.
No doubt, no doubt. And I want to say for the new teachers out there, right? Or the veteran teachers, you're looking for a home. You want to go somewhere where you're going to make the impact. You want to go have some fun. You want to laugh a little bit at a board meeting with Mr. Castillo. But but ultimately, to do good work and feel supported is critical when you're making a decision of where you want to work and live. It is very, very important. So I would very much encourage you to go check out Donna ISD. They're winning awards. You know, they're supporting their kids, and most of all, they're supporting their staff so that the staff can make those outcomes realized for your students. And thank you for spending some time for me. And here, look right there, Mr. Castillo. There's the
championship.
I like that. I like that already. It's in the wrong shoulder. It's got to be in this shoulder.
Well, I mean, I'm above my mic, and we'll be back at square one where I can't get anything to work. So, but just thank both of you for your work, for your dedication to your community and to the students and to Texas, because it's important. We all got to do this together, and I truly appreciate it and appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rick. It was great to see you again.
Likewise.
Buen día. Buen día, Ricardo Fernandez.
Thank y'all so much, and I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all's time.